Hey wonderful viewers, welcome back to our channel. Today we've got something special lined up. A deep dive into the reactions swirling around the decision made by Judge Julia Sebutinde in the case of South Africa versus Israel. It's been a hot topic with emotions running high and opinions flooding social media. We've curated a series of videos that will take you through the various aspects of this controversy, from the legal intricacies to the social media storm. We'll start by breaking down the legal complexities behind Judge Sebutinde's dissenting opinion. What led her to rule against South Africa? What were the key arguments? We've got you covered. And then brace yourselves for a journey into the heart of Twitter outrage. We've scored the platform to bring you the most passionate, sometimes scathing reactions from users worldwide. Stick around because by the end of this video, I'll be breaking down some key takeaways from those reactions. What do they tell us about the broader conversation, and what can we learn from the diversity of perspectives? But wait, there is more. We've also got exclusive insights into Judge Sebutinde's reasons behind that decision. What were the factors at play, and how did she navigate the complexities of this international case? So get ready for an insightful journey. Stick around until the end, where I'll be unraveling the key takeaways and reflections from this compelling exploration. Without further ado, let's dive into the world of international law, social media storms, and the pursuit of justice. Welcome to an eye-opening experience right here on our channel.
Motaz spoke on the ICJ ruling that happened today, and he basically said that this is and messed up, and the ICJ and all these systems of power are pro-Israeli, and they have lost all trust in these systems of powers, because absolutely, as he should. Like, this man went through 109 days of documenting, putting his life at risk, his family, his neighbors, seeing the most actions of the Israelis towards the Palestinian people, and the ICJ refused to force Israel to do a permanent ceasefire. Like, what? He has every right, and every Palestinian has every right to feel the way they should feel. I mean, I'm disappointed. Like, at this point, I'm not just disappointed, like, I'm so sad, because I'm just like, these people have been literally watching it on 4K. Insane. The kicker of all of this is that the person representing Uganda, this African woman, is the one in cahoots with Israel to vote down South Africa's request. And she's the first African woman to sit in the ICJ. How disappointing. How much did they pay you, ma'am? How much did they put in your pockets for you to do what you did? How disappointing. Literally, as we speak, women, children, and men, babies are being unalived in a matter of seconds in Gaza. And you had to, like, be in cahoots with Israel to not vote for a permanent ceasefire? How disappointing. Literally, when Ukraine was attacked by Russia, immediately it was declared as a side. Immediately. No questions asked, no runarounds, nothing. Immediately was classified as a side. And now we have this whole situation in Gaza has to be dragged, even though you all know this is a crazy.
Meet Judge Julia Sebutinde, the disgrace to the African continent, the African nations, and all of African people. Julia Sebutinde is a judge from Uganda and was one of the 17 International Court of Justice judges who viewed South Africa case against Israel, accusing them of committing Gaza. This woman is the first African woman to be a judge in the International Court of Justice. Today, January 26th, the International Court of Justice ruled for provisional measures of the South Africa case against Israel. And this is the list of the provisional measures that the International Court of Justice ruled in the favor of South Africa against Israel. Numbers you're seeing here, 15-2, 15-2, 16-1, is the number of the judges that ruled in favor of the provisional measure. Now, Julia Sebutinde from Uganda ruled against South Africa for every provisional measure. Like in this provisional measures, taking all measures to prevent Israel from committing any acts of this listing, like this one, bodily mental harm and whatnot. Julia, alongside the Israeli judge, are the only ones who voted against it. And you think like 16-1, 16-1, you think this one is the Israeli judge, right? No. It was her. Even the Israeli judge wanted to prevent and punish any incitement of committing genocide. She said, no, I don't want that. Even in the humanitarian assistance, she was the only one to vote against it. As an Egyptian African, I can't fathom the fact another African judge ruled against another African country, another African lawyers who want to help people who are going through a humanitarian crisis. And she says, no, I don't want that. Now, the official announcements of the Uganda government that they are pro the people of Gaza. It's important to mention that the International Court of Justice ruled against Uganda in their occupation against the Democratic Republic of Congo of paying reparations of 325 million. Now, does that have anything to do with this? I have no idea. But I want you to yourself to listen to Julia talking about humanitarian work to see the double standards.
Fellow Ugandans, when conflict breaks out in a country, it takes a toll on all our lives, physically, psychologically, and emotionally. Sadly, all too often, once conflict is ended, we're not able to repair the damage. What we've been able to build up in decades could easily go up in flames in moments.
Now, did you see any hypocrisy more than this? Completely disgraceful.
Judge Julie from Uganda decided, I don't care if I lose my African card today, and I don't want to be recognized as the first African female to be sitting in the ICJ card. That's not good enough. She was like, I want to be recognized as the one that completely rejected all provisional measures to save a population. Even this provision, she voted against it when it was almost unanimous. The state of I shall take immediate and effective measures to ensure the provision of urgently needed basic services and the humanitarian assistance to address the adverse conditions of life faced by the people in the G city. She was like, nope. You know what's shocking to me when I think about it though? Uganda was the original proposal to be the state of I. And so to have her to reject all measurements, it's like it could have happened to Ugandans, you know what I mean? And not only that too, but what African countries have been through with colonialism and whatnot, even Uganda, one would think you would have more affinity to South Africans' claim. At this point, listen, I'm cool if we're going to revoke our African card. I'm cool with that.
Judge Julia Subatendi, what happened today? For all the votes against the genocide, you took the Israeli side. Even more than Judge Aaron Barak, it is Israel that you backed. Israel should take all possible measures to prevent acts outlined in Article 2 of the 1948 Convention. To continue the coming, is that Judge Julia's intention? Israel must ensure that its military respect the Genocide Convention and protect Palestinian civilian lives. But you voted against it. Do you want Palestinians unalived? Israel must prevent the destruction of evidence of war crimes. Would you say, that's okay, with that I'm fine. Israel must submit a report on how it intends to respect the court. But even on this point, Subatendi fell short. On the next points, she stood alone, even distancing herself from her own. Her own government does not support her stance. What agenda does she advance? Israel must prevent and punish incitement of jihadists. She voted against it. That's a fact. To civilians in Gaza, Israel must ensure the delivery of basic services and essential humanitarian aid. But even to this, she says no. I wonder, was she paid? She is an embarrassment to herself, to her continent, and to her nation. I think she needs to give us some kind of explanation. Why did you vote for Jen to continue unabated? A continued Jen is what you've advocated. How is it possible to vote in such a way? Please, Judge Julia, what do you have to say? The world should be proud to see a woman on the court, but for humanity, you fell short. I'm curious. I wish to know why. Do you want all Palestinians to? Why you even voted against humanitarian aid? What is it? Are you afraid? Do you want them all starvation? Is it this, Judge Julia Subatendi? What do you have to say?
This one came as a little bit of a surprise to me, I'm not even going to lie. Like, how are you going to look at a humanitarian crisis like we're looking at and label it a political one? Also, girl, did you forget about something? Did we forget about this? Did we forget that this could have been you and your girl Kenya? Did we forget about that? Did we also forget about this? We're not remembering that this happened and you guys didn't want any of Izzy's refugees? Miss Ma'am had the nerve to say that South Africa didn't demonstrate that the acts allegedly committed by Izzy were committed with the necessary G-side intent, and that as a result, they were capable of falling within the scope of the G-side convention. This woman does not have a humanitarian bone in her body. Seems like all she's thinking about is the loss of business that Uganda might incur, because there's a ton of companies that operate there now, under all different types of sectors. Or maybe Miss Ma'am just got paid herself. Unfathomably disappointing. And that's just my opinion. And as always, free Pally.
The only judge to vote against every single order was the one from Uganda. Like, even Israel's judge passed 2 of the rulings. Like, are you okay? I think it's important to note that she has a doctorate in human rights. One of the provisions that even the Israeli judge ruled for, that she ruled against, was the urgency of bringing humanitarian aid into Gaza. You have a doctorate in human rights, and you are not pushing for the Palestinians to have human rights. One of the other provisions that she denied that Israel did not was to prevent and punish any public incitement to commit genocide against Palestinians. So she felt like that was okay. I'm just wondering who's paying her. For her to reject every single provision, it's very, very strange. I bet you Netanyahu got to her. Or better yet, the United States. We'll find out soon enough.
So I just heard the 17 top world judges told Israel to stop it. But one useless goat, this goat from Africa, this goat from Africa said,
in the world of international justice, Judge Julia Sebutinde stands as a trailblazer, serving as the first African woman on the International Court of Justice since 2012. She has played a crucial role in some of the most challenging cases. One of these cases, South Africa versus Israel dispute, drew significant attention. In a landmark decision, Judge Sebutinde found herself dissenting against all 6 provisional measures ordered by the ICJ in favor of Palestinians in Gaza. These measures range from ceasefires and military operations in the delivery of humanitarian aid and respecting the rights of Palestinians under the Genocide Convention. Judge Sebutinde's dissenting opinion emphasized that the Israel-Palestine conflict is fundamentally political, requiring diplomatic solutions rather than judicial intervention. She argued the alleged acts of genocide were not demonstrated on a prima facie basis and questioned the urgency, necessity, and proportionality of the provisional measures. However, her dissenting stance sparked controversy and criticism. Supporters of the Palestinian cause accused her of being cold and self-hating, while others questioned her impartiality and qualifications. Despite the criticism, some defended Judge Sebutinde's right to express independent views. They praised her courage and honesty in challenging the majority opinion, highlighting the importance of diverse perspectives in international justice. In a world of complex legal and political landscapes, Judge Julia Sebutinde continues to embody the principles of independence and professionalism, leaving an indelible mark on the pursuit of justice at the International Court of Justice. In the complex world of international law, Judge Julia Sebutinde's dissenting opinion in the case of South Africa versus Israel has left many intrigued. Let's unravel the possible reasons behind her decision that have surfaced in her dissenting opinion. First and foremost, Judge Sebutinde expressed that she did not find sufficient evidence to support the claim that Israel had committed acts of genocide against the Palestinians as defined by the Genocide Convention. It appears that in her meticulous analysis, the evidence presented did not meet the threshold required for such grave accusation. But her reasons go beyond the scope of evidence. She argued that the Israel-Palestine dispute is fundamentally political, not legal. In her view, it demands a diplomatic or negotiated settlement, emphasizing the limitations of judicial intervention by the court. Furthermore, Judge Sebutinde challenged the provisional measures ordered by the court, stating that they did not meet the criteria of urgency, necessity, and proportionality. This reflects a meticulous consideration of the appropriateness and effectiveness of the measures proposed. Importantly, Judge Sebutinde emphasized her respect for the limits of the court's jurisdiction and the principle of non-intervention in the internal affairs of the sovereign states. This underlines our commitment to the rule of law and the sovereignty of nations. To delve deeper into Judge Sebutinde's reasoning, you can explore details on web searches like Google. Understanding her perspective requires a nuanced exploration of legal principles, diplomatic intricacies, and the delicate balance the court must strike. As we navigate the intricate web of international law, Judge Julia Sebutinde's decision decision serves as a reminder of the multifaceted nature of justice, where evidence, politics, and legal principles intertwine. The digital realm has become a battleground of opinions, and when it comes to Judge Julia Sebutinde's decision on the Gaza conflict, Twitter has become a stage for passionate and at times scathing reactions. Let's delve into the tweets that unveil the sentiments of this virtual outrage. The article uncovered a flurry of tweets where users took to the platform to express their disappointment and even anger towards the judge, accusing her of being cold, disgraceful, and self-hating for not aligning with the plight of innocent Palestinians. One user stated, "Good morning everyone except Julia Sebutinde, who voted against allowing humanitarian aid to Gaza." Another user wrote, "The world will not forget Judge Julia Sebutinde, who voted against all the provisional measures South Africa sought against Israel." Another user speculated about Judge Sebutinde's motives, saying, "I am very sure if you ask Julia Sebutinde the reason for her decision, she will give you an answer which has the word Bible in it." The tweets go beyond disappointment. They question her impartiality, integrity, and qualifications as a judge. Another user raised a pointed question. "No, because why are you on this internet defending Sebutinde's rights to vote in favor of a genocide to the cis state?" Another user took it a step further, predicting Julia Sebutinde will go down in history as an evil witch who sold her soul to the West in the name of self-hatred and the hatred of Africa at large. The intensity of these tweets showcases the power of social media as a platform for expression, but it also raises questions about the thin line between critic and personal attacks. The ripples of Judge Julia Sebutinde's dissenting opinion have reached far and wide, stirring a multitude of reactions from people across the globe. On one side of the spectrum, there is a wave of negative reactions. Some individuals express anger, disappointment, and disbelief at Judge Sebutinde, accusing her of turning her back on the Palestinian cause. Words like cold, disgraceful, and self-hating have been heard, questioning her stance on victims of Israeli aggression. Additionally, doubts have been cast upon her impartiality, integrity, qualifications, and overall experience as a judge. But in the midst of the storm, there is a chorus of positive voices. Supporters of Judge Sebutinde defend her right to express independent and professional views. They commend her for the courage and the honesty displayed in challenging the majority opinion. Some even appreciate her legal reasoning and analysis, recognizing her respect for the limits of the court's jurisdiction. It's a stark dichotomy, a clash of perspectives reflecting the complexity of the case and the deeply rooted emotions it evokes. Regardless of where one stands on the spectrum, what's evident is the profound impact Judge Sebutinde's dissent has had on the public discourse, bringing to light the intricate dance between personal beliefs, professional duty, and the pursuit of justice. As the discussions unfold, Judge Julia Sebutinde remains a pivotal figure, sparking reflection and debate, reminding us that the pursuit of justice is often laden with diverse perspectives. Let's dive deep into the aftermath of the International Court of Justice ruling on the possible genocide committed by Israel in Gaza. It's a decision that goes beyond the courtroom, with potential consequences that stretch across both legal and political landscapes. Let's start with the legal implications. While the ICJ ruling is legally binding, it faces a challenge. The court itself lacks the power to enforce its decisions. However, the ripple effect could be felt in other international courts and tribunals, such as the International Criminal Court, currently investigating alleged war crimes in the occupied Palestinian territory. Additionally, the ruling might cast a shadow on national courts that exercise universal jurisdiction over genocide. Now, let's shift gears to the political ramifications. The ruling puts pressure on Israel and its allies, particularly the United States, to reconsider their policies. It might become a catalyst for ending the blockade and military operations in Gaza, pushing for meaningful negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians. Beyond the geopolitics, the decision could be a game changer for the morale and legitimacy of the Palestinian leadership and civil society. Those who have been tirelessly pursuing legal and diplomatic avenues now find validation in the international arena. Moreover, the ruling could trigger a surge in international solidarity and activism in support of the Palestinian cause. Conversely, it might amplify condemnation and isolation of Israel for its alleged violations of human rights and international law. However, let's remember these potential outcomes are neither guaranteed nor predictable. The ruling marks just one step in a long and complex struggle for justice and accountability in the Israel-Palestine conflict. Stay tuned as we navigate through the intricacies of this evolving situation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. Let's keep this conversation going. Take care.